Good morning, everybody. Happy Wednesday. The week is almost over. I'll tell you what, I am ready for the weekend myself. Very tired today. I have a very long and exhausting schedule every day, and yeah, I mean, we can sustain these kind of things for a while, but something's got to give, right? I think I watched that movie the other night. Something's got to give. Anyway. There's a line in the movie that kind of made me laugh. I had the movie on, but I wasn't really watching it, right? It was just kind of in the background. And when I finally did start paying attention to it, he was in his psychiatrist's office, and the psychiatrist wouldn't see him because he didn't have an appointment. And he will run, walks out into the lobby and looks at everybody in the lobby and says, "What if this is as good as it gets?" And I thought, oh my God, he just rained on everybody's parade, right? Because they're there to get better. And yeah, I mean, pessimism, right? It's a thing. So anyway, let's not let ourselves get sucked into that today. And by we, I mean me. Oh, what I would give to just call off today. But I digress. Anyway, can we get the current energies for today? Current energies for today, please. Current energies for today. Current energies. Oh, we've got Judgment in reverse. All right. Kind of goes with the story I was just talking about, right? Judging yourself. Being a little harsh on yourself, right? Being maybe a little harsh on other people. I think we had this last week. But see, she is judging herself in this card. Sorry, guys. This glare is just ridiculous. I'll get the new setup here soon. In the reverse, it's distorted, right? It's judging things, and not accepting, understanding. Like with the story I just told, what if this is as good as it gets? What if it gets better? It's all in how you judge the situation. Is it, like I was just talking about, kind of needing a day off. We over, what is the word I want to say? We are overly critical of ourselves. And in doing so, how are we offsetting that? Okay, I'm just kind of getting this idea in my mind that, I have a tendency to overcommit. I have, like I said, a very busy schedule. And why? Why is that? Right? Ask yourself, what are you trying to compensate for? Or are you? And I'm not saying that you are or you're not, but ask the question. At least bring it to your awareness. I do know that overcommitment can be a trauma response. You don't want to face those things that are hard, that are painful. So in an effort not to do that, you keep yourself so busy you don't have to think about it, right? I am aware of that, and in recent weeks have kind of tried to look at that from a non-judgmental perspective and say, have I done that? Is it time to rein in my energy? Is it time to maybe cancel some of these commitments? Oddly enough, the universe has found its grace in doing so for me. A couple of my commitments were canceled by the other side of things. So pay attention to those things. If you're feeling overworked, if you're feeling overwhelmed, take your self-care seriously. I think I even mentioned I have a school assignment that is self-care this week. Universe will show you, will scream at you, will give you those signs, will give you those synchronicities to tell you when you don't want to tell yourself, I guess. And, sitting in judgment of, well, I already made the commitment, so I have to see it through. Or if I'm not busy all day long, then I'm lazy. Those are previous limiting beliefs that we're judging ourselves against, guys, right? I've had a really interesting week of realizations, understanding why things are happening, why I do things that I didn't understand before. You know, and you have to give yourself time to sit with those things and time to understand them and not judge yourself for them. You know, you don't know what you don't know. And if you don't know, then you can't be held accountable. But now that you do, now the accountability part comes in, right? Ace of Wands, looking at things in a new way. You have new belief systems. You have new ideas, new ways of judging, you know, considering what the new knowledge that you've gained and the new ideas and the new creativity and the new sparks and the new passion. It's new everything. You know, the dark cave is being illuminated with just one little spark of a wand. It doesn't need 10 of them. And it almost looks like it is drawing energy from everything around it. Right? Like it almost looks like veins and blood, not blood, but veins of a liquid, right? Some sort of liquid that is, the wand is drawing up and then expressing. So draw on everybody around you. You know, draw on your strengths, draw on their strengths. Ask for help if you need to. Figure out what it is, how you're connected. You know, how are you connected? What strengths are you drawing on? From within yourself, from within others? What lights the wand for you? What is that liquid that's coming towards you or you're drawing from? It looks, I don't know why I keep saying you're drawing that strength from. It just looks like the fire, the passion is flowing all around you, and you're finally tapping in and using it, you know, allowing it to be shown through you, I guess would be a better way to say it. So draw on all your experiences, guys. Draw on your old self, you know, instead of judging those wounds, those inner child wounds, whatever, draw on the strength of them. You overcame them. There may be somebody else out there that experienced something similar that you're meant to share the experience with. Someone that needs your help, or help yourself. You know, you're worthy of your own help. You know, I was saying earlier how I have this crazy busy schedule. I've committed. I've made commitments. I'm doing things that is helping humanity. I am bettering my knowledge. I'm bettering the places that I volunteer at, you know, and helping them meet their goals and their commitments. But don't forget to put yourself first, right? What do I always say? Fill your cup. Sip of coffee real quick. Hang on. Start looking at things with a new eye, with a new perspective. And then, you know, if you do have to rein in your energy, decide what's yours. What are you doing for you? And what are you doing for the recognition? What are you doing for the validation of someone else? You know, judge yourself that way. Judge these things that you're doing with compassion, but you have to make the judgment, right? Decide if what you're doing is for you or for someone else. I guess that's what I'm trying to say there. Messages for today, please. More messages for today. More messages for today. More messages for today. Queen of Wands. Oh, I love my Queen of Wands. Why do we love the Queen of Wands? Because Steve calls her Fakey McFakerman. She literally is the one that does things to be validated. She does a lot of I don't want to say Fakey McFakerman because that's his word, but she presents herself as a queen and has her hands in everything and is illuminating. I mean, what she does is not bad, but what are her motives? Or maybe her motives aren't bad and what she's doing is. I don't know, but I'm not getting a good energy off this card in the upright. But I feel like you're putting that down. You know, putting down the burdens, putting down the thoughts that you have to. You know, there's very little have to in this world. We talk about, oh, I have to get up and go to work. Okay, well, maybe you do. You know, maybe you need money to pay your bills and whatnot. So, but do you have to have that job? Do you have to work at that time? You know, right now, yes. Until you can make the changes and the concessions to give you a different job that starts at a different time, right? The only have to is dying, and I know people will say the only thing you have that is constant, or I forget the way that they say it, but death and taxes, right? Yeah, I mean, there's very little have to in the world that you don't have control over. Oh my gosh, guys, I'm tripping over my words again today. I'm so sorry. I'm really tired, and I feel like my thoughts are kind of all over the place. I listened to Christine Strong's daily energy report, and I think we are in the third line of gate 36, and the third line is that martyr line. It's that let me do for the greater good. But think about a martyr, if you will. They do something for the recognition of doing it, not for the fact that they're doing it. And I feel like this card is in the reverse, telling you not to do that. Do it because you love it. Do it because it's your idea. Ace of Wands. Decide what's yours and give the rest back. You know, you can leave something with grace. You don't have to disappoint people. You know, will they be disappointed? Maybe. Are they disappointed in you? Probably not, guys. That would be taking it personally. Maybe they're just disappointed because they have to find another resource. But you can't be the resource for everything. You know, it's martyrdom. You can't be the savior. You know, Jesus was the savior, but you know, he was divine. He could handle it. Us, on the other hand, I don't know. There's maybe one or two of you out there. Maybe. I don't know. But not for us to decide. That went in a weird direction, you guys. I'm so sorry. I did not mean for that to get religious or to offend anybody. If I did, I do apologize. Four of Wands in reverse. So this is the marriage card. It's the divine union of feminine and masculine. And I feel like in the reverse, it's kind of crumbling a little bit. You know, we have these times in our lives when we have that perfect balance of divine feminine and masculine, and there's going to be times when it's out of balance, you know. Too much receiving, not enough action. Too much action, not enough receiving. And things are getting out of balance. And it's time to look at that, you know. Look at it for yourself, by yourself. Maybe be a little more of the fakey McFakerman, you know. I don't know. Think about Fakey McFakerman. She presents herself differently than she is. A little more authenticity. A little more saying no when you want to say no. It's easy. There's easy habits to fall back into, guys, when we're coming into our healing, and we get complacent, right? We get to a point where we don't feel like we have to do the work anymore. We don't have to be as aware, as conscious of the decisions that we're making. And I mean, think about it. You took a lifetime to build the habits that you're trying to break. They're not going to break overnight. And when you're not aware, when you don't stay in the energy of being aware of them and being conscious, being present, being here now, old habits can come back. So be aware of that. One more message for today, please. One more message for today. One more message for today. One more message. Thank you. Oh, the Fool. I love. Thank goodness. Guys, I was feeling like this reading was going in a direction I didn't want it to go in. But it's a new beginning, right? It's that new beginning. And the waves aren't that big. and the resources are in front of her, and the wave is pushing her forward. It's helping. It's guiding, if you will. She does look like a guide, doesn't she? Like on a hike, carrying her what do they call it? Walking stick. I don't know. There's a better word for that, but that's what I call it. And it's at rest. There's a level of rest when you change worlds, when you change levels. It's exhausting. And yeah, you're excited because it's a new place. You get there and you have all this energy and adrenaline even. But when you get those adrenaline boosts, just like the waves of the ocean, it's got to come back down. And if you're going to have the crash, like the sugar crash, if you will, where you're excited, everything's going well, you have all this adrenaline, all this energy, and then out of nowhere, once you've reached that peak, if you will, and the energy recedes, and it's no longer as exciting, it's no longer as new, the adrenaline rush is gone, there's an exhaustion. And that's when we have to take into account our self-care, right? And we have to take time to get used to the new thing, the new level, the new world, and acclimate. Give yourself time to acclimate. Let things be what they are, and kind of feel out the energies and see, without that adrenaline, without that extra energy, what does it really feel like? Right? Because that extra energy, that extra adrenaline it's masking, Fakey McFakerman, it masks the true nature of it, right? It's kind of like, I feel like I'm not explaining this right, but it's kind of like when you meet that new person and everything's new and everything's exciting, it's that love bombing phase, right? And I'm not talking about necessarily a narcissist, but that phase, because we all do it, whether you're a narcissist or not. You're on your best behavior. They're on their best behavior. You're seeing everything with rose-colored glasses. You're putting your best foot forward. You don't want to. You don't want to share your secrets yet, or whatever it is that you might be. I don't want to say ashamed, but whatever your vulnerabilities are that you're not ready to share with another human yet. So you're putting on that mask, that, and again, not in a bad way, but wearing that mask of perfection, of what, as perfect as you can be. And then after a while, I think there's even a biological time frame that, somebody can only hold it in for so long. It's like holding your breath. It can only happen for a certain amount of time. You can practice, some can hold it longer than others, but at some point you have to exhale. You have to be your real authentic self, which is what I think this is telling us to do. Be your real authentic self. Quit making everything so perfect, and explore that new beginning. Understand what it is. Understand the good, the bad, and the ugly about it, and then decide if it's yours. Decide if you want it, or if you're going to withdraw and start over. No decision is ever made, you guys, that cannot be undone, including marriage, right? Because we have divorce. You can choose to wear a different hat, put a mask on, and present yourself as someone different than you are, or you can choose to be yourself. You can choose to get married. You can choose to get divorced. You can choose whether you go to work at 6 a.m. or 6 p.m. It's based on what you want and what's right for you. And when you find the thing that's right for you, then you move forward. Then you decide with good judgment. And without that shiny new car syndrome, that's what I'm thinking about. Shiny new toy syndrome, I think we used to call it in the day. You get distracted with those shiny new things. And then you leave behind the other things that were shiny new toys at one point in your life. And think about a child. How many times does the parents have to go through and throw out the old toys because there's just not enough room? And those old toys were shiny new toys at one point. And there's one or two toys that never get put in the Goodwill pile, right? One or two that are just, that's stays throughout. You know, that's when a child decides that toy is theirs. You know, take that same idea with the other things in your life. You know, what is yours to keep forever that you're never going to throw away? And then every once in a while, you know, like I have to go through my closet and weed it down, get rid of the clothes that don't fit anymore, get rid of the gold jeans, you know what I'm talking about, ladies, and just concede to the fact that I only need a certain amount of clothes. I don't need the amount that I have. So what can I get rid of? You know, at some point it becomes too much to move, too much to take with me. So as we're moving along this journey, guys, just like I'm moving homes, decide what's yours. Decide. Look at things with a judgmental eye of, is this mine? Am I carrying this with me into my next day, into my next life, into my next journey, into my next level? You know, like I said, we clean out closets, we clean out toys. It's time to clean out our belief systems. It's time to clean out our commitments. It's time to clean out the cobwebs of our own minds, and decide what's ours. What are we taking with us and what are we leaving behind? I'm going to leave that there for now. I'm going to get a mermaid oracle, and then we're going to get a chakra oracle today too. I think I like those chakra cards. They're different. Can I get some advice for today? Advice for today. Advice for today. Ooh, even my hands are tired, you guys. I'm telling you. Ooh. Advice for today. There we go. Trust. Trust that what you're doing is the right thing. Trust that the universe will guide and take care of you. You know, I mentioned that some of my commitments canceled on their side. And I do believe that is the universe, that's God's source creator, slowing me down when I couldn't do it for myself. And because I know that, I trust the universe will provide. The universe will give me what I need. There's no reason for me to worry or to feel like I have to overcommit, or if I feel like I have to do more, right? Trust the universe to guide me. Trust the universe to help, to be the light in the cave, to show you the way, the path, to help you on your journey forward. Just trust. Trust is not the easiest thing, guys. It's just not. It's a tough thing to come by, and it's a tough thing to recognize if you've never experienced it. And then we have the sacral chakra, fire agate. I do not have a fire agate either. Dang, I don't have any of these crystals they talk about. Creation, the flames of destruction will ignite a rebirth. So let things fall. Look at all of the fire. That is crazy. A lot of orange, guys. A lot of orange. A lot of sacral today. And that sacral, that passion, that Mars energy, you know, the flames of destruction, that with the same intensity that you are mourning what has been destroyed, out of that intensity, you will create something new. Trust that, right? What was I looking at the other day? Oh, in therapy yesterday, our therapist was talking about how most artists will create from their deepest, darkest emotions, right? The sad songs that you hear, the paintings that you see, they come out of a negative emotion that they're trying to handle. They're trying to manage. They're trying to work through, and they do it with their art. So think about that. Think about how an artist uses his pain to create something beautiful for the rest of the world. I think that's what this card is. You know, take those painful moments and use them, and trust that it's working. Trust that you found the right vehicle with which to move forward, that you are on the right path. And, you know, most artists, I think they say, don't get recognized until after they're dead. You know, if you're doing it, if you're writing the book, if you're painting the painting, if you're writing the song, just for accolades, just for validation, just for the money, it's not going to be as well received by the world. But if you do it to channel an emotion, to help someone else, if your intention is not, is pure, if your intention is pure and there's no underlying motive to it, you will create something absolutely beautiful and absolutely well received by the rest of the world. But it's your intention. It starts with your intention. It starts with you being your authentic self, not doing it for the sole purpose of recognition. You have to do it for your own healing, for your own good, for your own health, for your own authenticity. And those are the flames, guys, that will ignite a rebirth and give you something new and give you something to share with the world that will give back in the end. All right, guys, I'm going to leave it there. I think it's a good place to stop. And yeah, I mean, just like always, we'll talk in a minute. All right. Much love and light. Hey guys, how's it going? Real quick, because I am running a little bit late today, but watched most of the video. I didn't watch the end, so might not be a full reading of the reading. That's my coffee in the background, sorry. I'm trying to multitask here. So, two things jumped out at me at first. I said I would give anything to call off today, and then I was talking about the movie, and I said it was playing in the background, right? And if you think about those things that fade into the background of our lives, those are the things we have to pay attention to, right? I was talking about habits and how you can fall into old habits, right? When you're not paying attention, when you're not fully present, old things come back, you know, they kind of fade into the background. And think about contrast, right? I think, are you looking at the stars or are you looking at the night behind the stars, right? Because you need both, but anyway, yeah, weird day. The dogs started really like fighting, I guess. They fight, play, I don't know. They make these weird gremlin sounds, I call them. And they did that when I apologized about the glare on the cards. So is there something you need to apologize for? And it might be apologizing to yourself. I said the word draw a lot. You know, I kept saying she was drawing on strength, drawing on energy. And then at the end, we got that card, the sacral card, talking about destructions, creating new beginnings. And then I started talking about art. So art and drawing and whatnot would be your creativity. It would be your feminine side. You know, throughout the reading I was talking about, at one point, I think we had the marriage card in reverse, and it was, you know, our divine feminine and masculine's out of whack. It's distorted, if you will. I kept saying distorted too. And then as good as it gets, right? It's not as good as it gets. We got to bring things back into balance. We always have to be aware of that. We get really busy. We get complacent, I said, and we don't pay attention to those things because they fade in the background. To bring them to the forefront. You know, when I was talking about the movie, it was playing in the background, but when I paid attention is when he said, what if this is as good as it gets? When I said things were out of balance, I paused. The dogs were quiet. Everything was quiet in the video for like, I don't know, a good 3 seconds, which in a video, I guess, feels like forever. Things are out of balance. And it's not a bad thing. It's just something to be aware of. Just like when I was talking about the Fakey McFakerman, you know, those things that we do to survive, they're not bad. They helped us at one point in our lives, and they worked. That's the problem. They worked. You know, what do they say about a gambler? The worst thing that could ever happen to you when you first walk into a casino for the first time is that you win. If it works, then you continue to try to perpetuate it. The difference is, guys, the situation that we're reacting to is different. The background is different. Bring the background to the forefront. You know, bring your surroundings, the cave, if you will, from that card. Bring it to the forefront. Because your habits, your reactions to those things that are in the background has changed. And we're maybe not noticing that as much. it was when I said the reading was going in a direction I didn't want it to. And we got the Fool card jumped out. And most of the reading I was talking about how the universe will show you things that you don't want to see or you don't want to admit to yourself. And those can be good or bad, mind you guys. I talked about how I'm exhausted and 2 of my commitments canceled on me. And I was grateful for that. I was like, oh, thank God I could actually ease up my schedule a little bit. But when you know you need to do something for yourself in a good way or a bad way, and you're not choosing it, the universe will kind of choose it for you. When you trust and believe. I could have looked at these cancellations and taken it personally and said, well, I must have done something wrong. No, I didn't do anything wrong. It's actually a blessing because I didn't know how to say no at the time. So think about that. Judging it as good or bad is all within my mind. Whether you go to work at 6 a.m. or 6 p.m. is a choice, and it's a judgment that you make. Are you better at night? Are you better during the day? Some people are better third shift workers. And then, let's see, I said the word mask a lot. So what are we masking? What are we masking? Ask yourself that. With COVID, we know we were all forced to wear masks for a long time, and it's for the most part, you don't wear them anymore. For my group therapy, we do have to wear them because it's a health facility, and those places are still mandating the mask requirement. And I find myself, at first, I was uncomfortable again, and now that I'm in a habit of doing it, I walk into a public building and I almost feel naked. It feels weird, right? So we can create habits very quickly and pay attention to them. I have to pay attention to what building I'm in and whether or not I wear a mask. And then the last thing I was talking about that I want to say anyway, it's not the last thing I was talking about, but I said, you can hold your breath, but at some point you have to exhale. And it was then that I chose to take a hit on my vape. So really, sorry guys. And my alarm went off. So exhale. And I took a hit of my vape. So that, remember yesterday we were talking about going back and forth between 2 worlds. You have the 2 times a day when it's neither day nor night, and you have that time during your breath when you're neither inhaling or exhaling. And then the alarm went off as I was describing it. So don't hold your breath. When things end and things begin, there's that middle ground of neither here nor there, and that's when you rest. That's when you give yourself that pause, give yourself that moment to rejuvenate, and allow yourself that time. Guys, allow yourself that time to acclimate, like I was saying in the video. Three names we got today: Grace, Steve, and Christine. I don't know if those names mean anything to you. And then the movie was As Good as It Gets. So I don't know why that movie was on my mind today, but it was. I did get a song today. It was Carry On My Wayward Son, Crosby, Stills and Nash. So maybe that means something to you. Anyway, yeah, clearly I'm exhausted, guys. So I'm going to end it here and get my little butt off to therapy, and we'll talk soon. Much love and light. Take care.